what has your experience been as a light skinned racialized black man, um,
Mm.
how has your experience been, do you think, different than people who are darker skinned like myself or your son?
Well, it's been on two sides of the spectrum. Being a light skinned person, sometimes I've been told, oh, you're not black enough, or you're light skinned. Can I cuss on here? You're light skinned ass, or when somebody say something to you, or I've been even told by women, you're not dark skinned enough, so you can't protect me. See, and this is coming from a black woman. They've told me that
Wow.
the mother of my child told me this. You can't protect me because you're light skinned.
That's wild. That's
Yeah,
wild.
right. So it's made me feel less than a man at points. When I was younger, when she told me that, I was like, why does my skin complexion have to do with my ability to protect you as a man or be a man? So I've also, I think as a light skinned person, I'm handled better when it comes to dealing with white people. Now that I was big and black, it'll be a little bit of a difference. Now, some white people don't care. You black. So I'm going I'm going to treat you like a black person, or especially older white women. I've had that experience too. But yeah, I think colorism is something within the black community that needs to be discussed, as well as when it comes to black and white. But within the black community, I think it's more important because we kind of put biases and stereotype ourselves that way. Um,
Exactly.
Even with the hair you wear, the tech, even down to the texture of your hair. Like growing up, I felt that when you had dreads and long hair, and I'm gonna be honest with you, being transparent, that you were somehow dirty. With you had dreads, we called them dreads, and now when I got older, I started calling them locks because that's the correct term to say. They're locks. And when I learned where the word dreadlocks or dreads come from, which is a bad term, they're dreadful. Uh, I stopped using the term dreads. Um, but I had my own biases with that. Or you had a certain skin tone. I was like, oh yeah, this person is dangerous, or this person is liable to rob me, or something like that. I had those biases when I was younger. I'm not afraid to
Yeah,
admit
I
those
mean,
things
you shouldn't
as a
be
black
afraid to
person.
him. I mean, I
Yeah.
appreciate you sharing it because, yeah, you know, it's so easy to take on those biases. It can happen without your conscious knowledge or your
Mm-hmm.
intention. It can creep on up on you if you watch TV shows and movies and all you see are black people committing violence. If you,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, you go to school, you see only white teachers, you don't see any black people in a position
Mm-hmm.
of power. You're walking down the street, you see black people all on the streets, looking disheveled
Dark
and
skinned people.
whatnot. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you're constantly fed these images both in real life and freaking on TV and social media and whatever else, then you're going to end up taking on some of those beliefs just like as the natural consequence of that. And so we shouldn't be ashamed of that. The I think that ultimately shame only comes in if you become aware of that and then you don't decide to change, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think I applaud you for talking about your own biases and
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, because other people maybe they do feel shame, right? Like maybe they know they have these biases, but they've decided not to work on them, and so instead they decided to suppress them. So
Mm-hmm.
right now you're being an example for those people to be like, hey, like I had them too, but I was able to let them go, right, and
Mm-hmm.
realize that hey, I want to teach, I want to educate, and I can't be educating while holding on to these biases. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's really
It's
good.
yeah. I mean, like you said, we're force fed this. We're force fed. Even when you're younger, like you ever notice that the dark skinned person is always a villain. They all dark skinned person in older movies, like we'll say movies that came out in the 90s, even the late 80s, always a dark skinned person. Or even if you talk looking at women, let's talk about Martin, right? Pam was always the one that Martin hated, right? But she was a dark skinned woman. Gina was the one that he was in love with. He could do whatever. He couldn't do without her, right? And these things are put into our mind, especially black men. When it comes to that's another whole different topic. But black men and black women, those biases that have to, with our relationships, that's that, romantic relationships. I love all women, all different types. I love black women. I don't And I don't date outside of my race because I love black women. Not that I hate white women, but I love my black women, especially dark skin, light skin, whatever. But I have a preference of dark skinned women. I don't know. I just think they're beautiful. But I think sometimes dark skinned women think they're ugly because they've been told they're ugly their whole entire life, or you're black as the tar, you're black as tar, or you black as night, even black men. And I think that we're gonna take it back to the plantation. Going back to the plantation, that's where that comes from. A light-skinned person living in a house, doing domestic duties. Dark-skinned people out in the field picking cotton or whatever, doing outside labor. But what people don't understand, I believe, we're all interconnected as one, because I personally believe the people in the house had it worse because you're right up under the master's nose. I mean, if you're a light-skinned person and you're working in a house, you're going to see the mistress of the plantation more than you'll see, you'll see the master more, or the enslaver. You want to say whatever I'm saying, master, because those are the terms that we know. You will be up under their thumb more than the people out in the field.
Yeah, I don't like measuring, who had it worse, in the house or in the field. It's impossible to say, right? And it's kind of silly for people to. I think that the only lesson we can take from this historical reality that light-skinned people were often in the house and then dark-skinned people were often in the fields. I really think the only thing that we can take from that is the absurdity, and the
that's why I'm using it. I'm using it as not as somebody had it worse. It's something just like paternalism used to pit us against one another. Exactly. It's another interconnected conflict that black people have with each other that spurs from white supremacy.
Precisely. Well said.
We're fighting against each other when we be fighting against that one common enemy. And so that conflict, even, I mean, it trickled down until today. Relationships, the way you treat other people, how you see the stereotypes you put on other people, I mean, I'm not saying one had it worse.
No. I hear what you're saying now. Yeah, no, that was very clear. Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? You're always reminding me of stories. You're reminding me of so many stories since you've been speaking, but one of them is just a random moment, in a bar in New York City. Total stranger, but she was beautiful. A dark-skinned black woman. And I just told her that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I like to if I see something, I think something, and it's a compliment, something nice, I'll tell a stranger. And so that's exactly what I did. And, when I first started talking to her, the scowl I received was intense. It was deep. But once I was able to get out what I wanted to say to her and she could experience the genuineness of what I was saying, her whole face changed. You could see she was having, a flurry of emotions over her face, and I could tell that I made her day, probably her year. And it's very sad, like you said, the stereotypes that get associated with people with lighter skin versus darker skin within the racialized black community. And it is very sad watching racialized black people take on this hierarchical system of thinking, this hierarchical way of being, of like, oh, I'm better, you're worse. I'm prettier, you're uglier, prettier, yeah, it's just,
or good hair. You have good hair,
right?
I've heard that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we've got a lot of deprogramming to do, a lot of unraveling to do, and you and I are not immune from it, as we've been talking about today. And so I really think the next step is to get everyone to understand that unraveling is a universal experience, not just within the black community, but for everyone, because we're all racialized in a certain way. That racialization may not affect us all the same way, but in some ways it does. And the way in which we have to deprogram ourselves and unravel the lies that we've been told, or that we've told ourselves, right, as a result of the environment we've been raised in, that is a universal experience that all of us have to go through if we want to live freely, right? If we want to live according to the principles, the supposed principles of the United States of America, right?
Thanks for watching. For access to the full-length conversation and all of the 2-hour-long, unedited conversations that I've had on race, click the support link in the description below. Thanks for your support, and see you next time.